My name is Kate, and I'm a retired professor from the University of New Brunswick, where I taught botany for many years and previously at a lot of other institutions as well. So I'm trained as a plant ecologist. It was calculated that the solar panels would produce just about half of what our household uses in electricity per year. I think the company did a pretty good job of resolving the various unexpected issues that came up from working outside Ontario with the various New Brunswick regulations and so on. So it all did work out. They were on top of the job. We did make it for their loan, and that was a really big contributing factor because it's a 10-year loan with zero interest. And so that's really, it made the whole process really quite easy. We also applied for a New Brunswick rebate, which we got as soon as the panels were up and running. They were both quite easy to apply for, quite easy to actually activate, and they worked really efficiently for what we were doing. I really hope that program continues, and it will allow people who don't have the money to fall back on to be able to do something that does make a difference and does reduce their bills. I realize we're using coal power, but also nuclear energy and so on, and I just feel it's really important that we use energy that is renewable and that is clean. And I've always wanted to either have geothermal heat or solar power or wind power. And with the Canada Greener Homes initiative, it was a really good opportunity to look at solar power as an alternative. And then when I read about the Canada Greener Homes initiative, that really tipped the balance. So we applied for that and for the various other rebates and programs for the province. The materials were delivered really quickly. There was a challenge finding the expertise to do some of the hookup, and then we also had some challenges with particularly where the hookup had to go. So that slowed things down a little bit, but we still got it all done in time and managed to make all the deadlines for the various loans and other rebates. So I started looking further afield and found XOLAR, and the reviews I read about them for Ontario were really, really good. So I contacted XOLAR, having been looking for somebody who would do the work promptly. And I really liked the fact that there was software involved that would allow me to track the production and also just the general functioning of the solar panels myself so that I would know what was happening. The electrical entrance to the house is at the far end of the house relative to where the panels are. So we had to work out ways of running the wiring that distance without having to tear up the lawn or rip up the gardens. So eventually the electrician we had did find a really creative way to do it. And it took a little extra time, but it worked. And I found them really quick to respond. They have lots of information. If the person I contact doesn't know the answer, they really quickly refer me to somebody who does. So I found that the customer service response to be really reliable and quick. And I think because the process is relatively simple and because it can be done relatively quickly and because there has been excellent financial support for it, I sort of feel like it's a no-brainer.